What's up guys, Readiness Reviews here with you again. Yesterday was gun show day, and in this video we're going to discuss my experiences at that gun show along with the military surplus firearms market at large. We will also be talking about the World War II firearm that I came home with. So before we get into it, thumbs up the video if you like seeing this military surplus centric firearms content here on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my future Milsurp videos, and let me know down in the comments what the prices are like at the gun shows where you're from. I was actually pretty shocked at how ridiculously busy yesterday's show was. We arrived just after opening and the parking lot was slammed completely full, and inside the show it was absolutely bustling. There were a ton of military surplus firearms, but as we have become used to, the prices were absolutely insane. I really hate that even the most common, basic military surplus rifles are becoming so expensive that it's pricing out the new collector. There were certainly some standouts at today's show though. For one, this absolutely gorgeous Russian SVT-40. These have always been a bucket list gun of mine, but for $3,500, they're not going to be coming off the bucket list anytime soon. And then there was this complete blast from the past, the likes of which I haven't seen in a decade. A full crate of 10 Mosin-Nagants packed in cosmoline. These were M44s, and from what I observed, it looked like they had not undergone arsenal refurbishment, and they seemed to be mostly late war or post-war dates, 1945 through 1947. I was immediately ripped out of my nostalgia trip and snapped back to 2024 when I saw that $7,000 price point though. That is $700 a gun, and trust me, despite being packed in cosmoline, those M44s were not in nice enough condition to justify $7 bills. The original owner probably picked that case up for like $1,000. There was a very unique assortment of antique black powder guns at this show. That is most certainly not an expertise of mine. I barely know what I'm looking at, but I have rarely seen that many black powder Milsurps in one place at one time. Despite the mind-blowing prices, I did encounter several firearms that I considered bringing home. One table had a Hungarian high power for $450 and an extremely nice CZ70 for $300. There was a decent condition Czech Vz.27 Mauser for like $425. Those are typically $600 plus. This Argentine 1909 Mauser was in pretty rough shape, but I considered making an offer on it all the same. But all that flew out the window when I laid my eyes on the handgun that we have here. This is a Czech Vz.27 chambered in .32 auto. These handguns had a very long service life, both pre- and post-World War II, but this specific example is a German-marked World War II example of a Vz.27, a pistol that I've wanted to add to the collection for a good long while now. The under $400 price tag instantly caught my eye. They were actually asking $375. Just after asking to check it out, the owner actually recognized me and asked me if I make YouTube videos, and he told me that he was a fan and watches my videos all the time, which I was very humbled by. I looked it over for a minute to assess condition and whether or not I thought it would be a shooter. I knew I couldn't leave that show without this gun in hand, so I shot him an offer for $350. He instantly agreed, and here we are. Let's move over to the desk for a second for a better look at my particular example here. So here is my World War II dated $350 Vz.27. I quite like the compact sizing these particular handguns have. Of course, they are a little bit underpowered, being chambered in the anemic .32 auto cartridge. The tag on my example here says that it is a 1943 date. I haven't yet attempted to look up the serial numbers to verify that, but it does have the correct grips from that era. Bakelite-like plastic grip. This handgun does have German Army acceptance stamps on both the slide and the frame, so it certainly saw German use in the Second World War. This example is in decent cosmetic condition. We can tell it had a very nice shiny blue originally, but at this point we do have some patches of old rust distributed throughout the firearm. It shows a fair amount of service wear towards the muzzle end of the slide. It is especially evident. We can really see it on the right side of the firearm here. There's even a wampum up here on the barrel. Unfortunately, the underside of my grips do have a small chip missing, but to be honest, that's pretty trivial in my opinion. The CZ27 has a hill release 8-round magazine that's stamped PMOD 27. These pistols have pretty old school sights, a windage adjustable V-notch in the back, and our knurled front sight blade is milled into the slide. I will save you my pronunciation of the arms factory of origin, but it was in Prague. These are a single action only handgun, which does lock back on an empty magazine. There is no slide release though, and when you pull your empty magazine out, the slide slams home. It has a magazine safety, so without a magazine installed, it will not fire despite being cocked. And if I reinsert this magazine, I can show you the very odd manual safety system that it has. So we pull down on this lever, and that safes the pistol. But once you pull down on that, you cannot push it back up. There is a secondary button right here that you have to depress, and then it takes it off safe. Very interesting and quite odd. Czech Firearms seem to always have weird little features like that that really make them stand out. Now let's take a look at the internal condition here. Takedown on these handguns is fairly easy, but unique. We'll pull our slide to the rear, and then we can see that the end of our pin here has a little bit of give to it. We depress that, and then on the other side, pull down this little slide. Once that reaches the bottom, we can remove our main action pin, hold the slide to the rear while removing the magazine. Everything is under spring tension here, and slowly let the slide down and pull the frame off the slide. The internals of the Vz.27 are pretty darn unique. Spring and guide rod. There's this little metal piece that locks into the barrel, and that comes out all by itself. And then we have a barrel bushing, not dissimilar from a 1911. We line up these two notches, and then the barrel bushing comes off, and then we slide our barrel forward until those three lines line up with that notch in the frame, and we have to rotate the barrel. After that rotation, the barrel finally comes out. Now this barrel obviously has some corrosion, far from perfect, but just have a look at that beautiful, shiny bore. It is darn near perfect. That's another one of the main reasons that I absolutely had to take this handgun home. Everything internally looks as it should, but check out these rough machining marks on the inside. While we have everything torn down here, I will talk about the most major issue my example here suffers in terms of collectability, and that is serial numbers. On the barrel, the serial number is 143407. On the slide, it is also 143407, so the slide and the barrel are matching. On the frame, however, the serial number is 144703. Now that is a really weird coincidence. They are the exact same numbers, just in a different order. That basically means one of two things. The most likely of which, this is simply a mismatch handgun. At some point in its past, someone put the barrel and the slide of a different gun on this frame. Option number two is a far cooler story, but there would be literally no way to verify whether or not it's the case. Since all the numbers are the same, just in a different order, there is a chance that it was just simply stamped incorrectly at the factory. Perhaps one of the machinists was just having a bad day, and they got their number stamp out of order when they were stamping the frame here. Who knows, maybe they were under the duress of Allied bombing while they were hobbling these handguns together. I want to know what you guys think about that theory down in the comments. Which one of those options do you think is more likely? So it's a pretty decent looking Vz.27 with a really nice looking bore. It only has the one magazine. These pistols were issued two, and it didn't have any extras like the holster. A lot of times when you encounter these firearms, they do have those accessories. Having those mismatched serial numbers, though, really does hurt the collector value of this particular example. These days, it's not at all uncommon to encounter a Vz.27 for like 600, maybe a little more. So for $350, I'm pretty happy with what I got, and I will be especially happy if it does turn out to perform well at the range. I'm very curious what you guys think, though. Did I overpay for this pistol at $350? Or was that a decent enough deal? We're closing in here on summer 2024. The year's almost halfway through, and it is still a grim period for military surplus firearm collecting. I was really hoping with these high interest rates and inflation slowing down a little bit, we would see the prices of Milsurps ease up just a little. But if anything, Milsurp prices are higher now than they were at the first of the year. I guess we just can't get past these supply and demand issues. There is virtually no new supply of surplus guns, and thus, even if demand stays exactly the same, prices must go up. Everyone knows that we are in an election year here in the US, and depending on how that election goes, we could see some serious changes in the firearms market, both good or bad. Only time will tell. I did want to mention right quick that I did get noticed a couple times at this gun show. Besides the gentleman that I got my pistol from, I did run into 2 other awesome viewers of the channel, which I was delighted to have a moment to talk with. I really do appreciate each and every person that takes the time to watch my videos. And if you ever see me in person, don't hesitate to say hi. And I guess that about does it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. Let me know about your biggest Milsurp deals so far this year down in the comments. Happy Milsurp hunting, and I will catch you guys in the next video. See you then. Peace.